Elm Hill stretches between two churches, St Peter Hungate on the corner with Princes Street and St Simon and St Jude at the Wensum Street end. It used to continue in a straight line to St George's Street as shown in yellow, but this changed in the 15th century to allow St Andrew's and Blackfriars Halls to be built, originally the home of the Dominican friars. St Peter Hungate is shown here as we begin our tour with the current view of 2 to 4 Elm Hill, seen here in 1986 and here in 1936. The street dates from around the year 1200 but was badly damaged by fire in 1507, with the only building to survive being Britain's Arms, which had been a home for single women in the 15th century, later a home for surgeons, later still a public house and coffee shop. Just off Elm Hill is this building, now part of the Norwich University of the Arts, but built as a monastic chapel by Father Ignatius. For his story, see the Lost Norwich video Ghosts of the Old City. As Elm Hill turns at the Britain's Arms, it's now running parallel to the River Wensum. Many wealthy merchants had their houses on Elm Hill and their workshops behind. Elm Hill is described as the only complete surviving Tudor street in England. On the right of these pictures you can see elm trees from which the hill took its name, but all succumbed to Dutch elm disease, and the current tree in this location is a plane, planted in 1978. The Paston family lived on Elm Hill in the 14th and 15th century, and after the fire of 1507 the building was rebuilt by Augustine Stewart, Mayor of Norwich. In 1925, Norwich Corporation decided by one vote to renovate the property rather than demolish it. Since 1927, it has been the Strangers Club for people born outside Norfolk but living or working in Norwich. This is a very early photo from the 1800s, taken outside what is now the Strangers Club. From 1760 to 1927, the building across the road was the Crown Pub, seen here in 1938 as an antique shop. The usage is now shared between the games room and the Dormouse bookshop. In the background you can see the Britain's Arms that we've seen earlier, and here is a colour photo of it from this angle in 1936. The Britain's Arms was renamed the Slaughtered Prince for the 2007 film Stardust, where Elm Hill was used as a location. Numbers 41 and 43, Pettis House, are the remains of a mansion that had stood here, seen it here in 1936 and here in 1934. It was lived in by the Pettis family from 1590 to 1683, including two mayors, Thomas and Sir John. Wright's Court, an 18th century yard, would have been the central courtyard to the house. It was named after John Wright, who was a textile manufacturer in Elm Hill in the 1830s. This is number 32 from opposite directions in 2022 and in 1936. It was once the home of William Gosling, a 17th century mayor. This is the 1938 view of numbers 34 and 36, which were originally one house with a central courtyard entrance, now known as Roach's Court, followed by the 2022 comparison. Again, Elm Hill was used as a film location in Netflix's 2020 Christmas release, Jingle Jangle. Number 38 was at one time the rectory for the church opposite, before providing shaving in 1937 and gentlemen's grooming in 2022. This is another very early photo, this time of the bottom of Elm Hill in the 1800s. The building on the corner, now Olive's Restaurant, is seen here in 1997 and here much earlier in its former guise as the Turkey Cock Pub, which closed in 1962. The Church of St Simon and St Jude, seen here from Wensum Street, has not been used for worship since 1892 and was for many years used as a shop for the Scout Association. This is the church as seen in 1938. That is a very brief look at the classic Tudor street of Elm Hill, a street which was incredibly close to being demolished in the 1920s.